morning, Steve.
Morning.
Good morning. Today we have arrived in a little town called Stokesly, I think it is.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And it's kind of North Yorkshire. It might not even be Yorkshire anymore, is it? But it's right at the top of the North York moors. So that's where we've come to, and we've got a little plan today to go through a few little towns and a couple of villages possibly in this region, just to check them out. And if you saw our last video, mostly just to kind of get a feel for it if we ever wanted to settle down again. So if you saw the last video, that's what we were doing. We're putting the feelers out because we were thinking, you know, van life's not going to be forever. Have we made a proper decision? No, of course we haven't. We don't ever decide anything.
No, we just become estate agents apparently.
What are we? Oh yeah, we are like estate agents. We're going around selling the villages to you guys and the towns. If you want to move to these places, we can show them off to you because we might be in the van.
On sales.
Yeah, yeah, we'll take all commission, 90%.
Yeah.
Despite all of that, you know, we're still in the van at the moment. We're enjoying this time. And there's something else I wanted to bring up. We did talk recently about we weren't sure about the future of our job. So as you know, some of you know, we do security work and we have a regular job we go to in the south. We weren't sure if that was continuing. Well, as it turns out, that has got another 2 years on it, hasn't it? So in theory, we could stay in the van for another 2 years and carry on doing our job. Are we sure we want to? We're not sure. We're not sure about anything. We're utterly indecisive, and it must be really annoying to watch sometimes. But that's who we are, and that's where we're at, because we don't know. We're not in some terrible predicament, you know. We're not being moaning our lot. It is... Sometimes being in a van isn't so great. Sometimes it's brilliant. Going back to a house and what that will involve for us has ups and downs as well. So this is not some terrible predicament to be in. It's just that we're not sure where to go with it.
It's like anything in life. Everything starts to have a junction.
Yeah.
And we're at a bit of a junction, or it feels like we're coming to a junction. So we're just exploring what each avenue might look like.
Yeah, and the fact that we've talked before, and it's so important, there's things we cannot do in the van that we can only do in a house, little projects we want to take up, nothing important or life-changing, but they feel well, they are important. They're important to us, even if they don't mean much as such. Little craft projects, like we want to bring up the sewing again. We can't do these things, like painting. Stephen used to like painting. We can't do that so much in the van. So all those things are affecting our decisions. Anyway, despite all that, because this is a very rambly start right now, we've come to Stokesley. We're going to have a look around, and we're travelling around in our van. We're going to enjoy looking at these places and have lovely little days out regardless.
Aye.
So whatever we decide, it doesn't matter, because we're actually getting to see places as well that we've not been to before.
But before we do that, we better go and co-op and buy something so we can claim our three-hour parking.
Yeah, so there's a co-op here, and you can park for 3 hours for free, but we better buy something first, and then we can look around the town.
Aye.
Let's go.
Come on in.
So we're just walking back to the van now. First impressions, Steve, or actually our total impressions, because we've seen the majority of it. What do you think of Stokesley?
I think it's quite nice. It's quite pretty. There are some quite practical shops there. There's no train station.
That we know of, I don't think there is.
And I did like it, but it's just, there's an element of snootiness in some people's
Little
faces.
bit.
I don't know if it's just because we're dressed in hats and tracksuit bottoms and whatever.
Maybe.
But there's definitely snoots about it.
Yeah, I think there is a little bit of that.
That wouldn't stop me moving somewhere because I don't really care.
I know.
But you just pick up on these things.
Yeah.
People look at you like you're about to steal something.
Yeah, some places just happen to be really nice towns, and others happen to be towns that sometimes there's a feeling that there's a sense of superiority, maybe? Is that fair? I don't know.
It's usually the towns that are kind of punching above their weight, like they have more than they do, so they tend to get a bit snooty. Like they're a bit insecure about how much they've got.
I mean, we don't know any of this, you know, like sometimes you can look at somebody and actually your impression is entirely wrong as to what they're thinking, but you do get a general vibe of something like that here. However, it is really gorgeous. Like, as Stephen said, there's quite a few practical shops. You've got a couple of butchers, greengrocers. I think there is a little supermarket. Lots of charity shops. That was nice. Coffee shops and stuff like that. But I don't know. There's more there than you think for such a small little place. And the buildings are so pretty, and you've got this little river bit running down the back. But I don't know. I really like it, and it's not too far from Middlesbrough. So in terms of access, although there might not be a train station, you can probably get a bus fairly easily, or it's a short drive. And in terms of affordability, it's probably a little bit out of our range, but actually I have seen properties come up here, like reasonable looking ones, that might be within a decent price range, maybe like 150,000, 160, that kind of thing. They probably don't come up that often, and the ones I've seen have, since before we came here, have disappeared. So it's quite possible that things go really quickly here. At the moment though, there is one listed which is not really plausible, but we're just going to show you anyway and have a look at it. It's a little bungalow around the corner which is up for 130,000. Okay, so this is one of the ones we saw. It's up for 130, but as Stephen said, although it says 1 bedroom bungalow, they sort of look like park homes almost. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
because their bungalows kind of joined together. I don't know, that seems a bit odd. Yeah, they kind of remind us of those mobile park homes in a way, and the fact it's a bungalow, yet it's kind of squashed either side of other bungalows. It's only 1 bedroom. I think that's probably a little bit much for what it is, actually. I mean, that was never going to be realistic anyway, was it, Steve? We just thought we'd have a look just to see what the general price for something was like here, and that was the only thing available at the moment.
Nice to be nosy about houses.
Yeah, you've got to have a look, haven't you? Got to be nosy. But yeah, they just our first thought was like, yeah, it looks like a mobile park home, only squashed next to other ones. Yeah. It didn't seem like a regular bungalow. We've had a few people say before, like, God, you two are annoying, you can't make up your minds. And it's a bit like, well, look, you know,
we don't have to, do
we don't have to. It's for us.
Exactly, it's our life, it's not so proper.
The only reason we're sharing all this is because that's what we're doing, and that's what we're experiencing and thinking as we're living in a van. Whether we do it or not, it's another matter.
Yeah. Anyway, we get to see what this place is like and see what's on the market.
I think Stokesley is a very, very pretty little town. I did like the fact it had some little greengrocers and stuff like that. Lovely old buildings, but unlikely to be the one for us. Even if a property came up that we did like.
I don't think there's enough here.
No. I prefer it to be a little bit bigger, I think, and obviously to have a train station would be nice. And here we are at the next destination. Oh, it feels like we're on one of those property shows, Steve. Without actually buying anything.
Without any money to buy anything.
Without any money to buy anything.
We're window house shopping.
Aye. Right, so we've arrived in our next little town. Now, Stokesley, that was all right, but very pretty, but I think it's just probably unlikely to be for us, isn't it, that one?
I think it's to be practical enough.
Yeah, I think we've already said this, if it made the video, because I feel like we've been rambling a lot in this. Well, I have, but that's pretty standard.
Aye.
So we've come to our next town. Now, this one is probably going to be a little bit more promising, both in terms of price and just a place to live that's maybe more practical. Yeah. We don't know, because without actually looking, we haven't got a clue. So the town in question, it's a historic market town, Steve.
Of course.
That old favourite. It's a place called Guisborough, and it's just at the top of the North York moors, just down the road from where we were, like a 20-minute drive, something like that. And we're very close to the coast, very close to Middlesbrough, so you've got a big city there for work purposes and other means, you know, all that kind of stuff, but also close to some really good scenery. We had a little drive through, although there's like a main road going through it. It seems all right, doesn't it?
It's all right,
seems quite pretty. Seems like it's not big, but it's big enough that it's got all the amenities and other different shops and things like that. So let's go and have a look, shall we?
Let's go.
Let's go and explore Guisborough, even though it looks bloody miserable. It looks awful. We spend most of our time doing this in charity shops, don't we? Like the entire time. Steve's picked up another bit of material to put on the chairs when we do our little patchwork stuff.
Fire resistant.
Yeah. So half the time we're looking at these towns, like if you add up the time, I reckon a third of it is in charity shops. Oh, it's freezing, isn't it? And it's getting dark now. You keep forgetting how much limited time you have in the winter to get out and explore things before the sun completely disappears. Not that we've seen the sun today. This seems like a mixed bag, doesn't it?
Yeah, I quite like it, really.
I like it.
But there's no train station.
No, we just realised there's not a train station, so another place we've come to without a train station, which was going to be crucial, but never mind.
I mean, it looks like it might be big enough that you could find some work locally, but I wouldn't bank on it.
No, Middlesbrough's not far, so I'm sure the bus links are pretty good. It's a mixed bag of a town. Like, you've got some nice buildings, and you've got a complete different range of shops. You've got your standards, you've got some charity shops, coffee shops, stuff like that. I don't know where we're going now, but there are a few closed down places as well, so I'm not sure it's exactly thriving, but it seems like there is a good community here as well. It still seems like there's a lot of people about and shops open,
and there's a nice enough atmosphere as well, right?
Yeah,
I think that's just like kind of coming from the south. Like, you go into a coffee shop in the south and it's all a bit tense and weird.
Is it?
It is, I think so. But
maybe it
like,
is.
We're just putting the coffee shop in there and people are just more relaxed. It's just much more kind of warm atmosphere.
It feels friendly here for sure. I think there's a lot to like. It kind of ticks a lot of the boxes. Should we carry on looking? Because I don't think we finished. We're going to do one side of the street. I mean, there's not masses to see here. So we're doing one side of the high street and we're going to go back up the other side now. We're kind of wandering away from it.
And then there's a house we can look at from the outside.
Yeah, and there is a house within our range. I think it's got a fair amount of problems, but we just want to show you anyway, just to give you an idea of what the prices are like for some of the places here. Should we turn back then? We're just walking the opposite way now.
Just walking towards us.
All right, let's reverse. When we're talking about the size of a town, this is exactly right, I think, for us, isn't it? It's got enough of the amenities, the things you need, and a few little extras without being too big. It's a bit chaotic with the busy road running through it, and you've got like car parking. We're being laughed at now. This is what happens when you film in the street. Yeah. You got to put yourself out there.
I just want to be on YouTube.
Of course they do. Everybody does. No, I like it. There's lots of pretty buildings. Just a shame about the train station. But this is worth considering, I think.
That one.
You want what?
I want that one.
You want that one? Okay, if that's the benchmark, we will probably never have a home ever. Would be nice though, right? So we've just gone past this little shop and it's a laundrette, but also it does food and you can get coffee as well.
Yeah.
Multitasking as a shop.
It's called Odd Socks.
Odd Socks. I guess that's what you've got to do now as a shop to survive, isn't it? You've got to kind of branch out and do all kinds of things. I'm sure you've noticed, like we've certainly noticed now, that lots of shops, clothes shops, book shops, they turn into coffee shops as well, because anything to bring people in, it's a bit of a struggle.
Market, really,
yeah, you've got to do various things because it's so much harder now.
Yeah.
I'd love a shop, wouldn't you, Steve? Oh, I would.
Depends what I was selling.
I'd love to have my own shop. I don't know what I'd sell. I tell you what I want, a shop that doesn't need to make money, just a shop to open. Don't need to survive or anything.
It's like 2 days a week.
Yeah, a couple of hours a month.
Yeah.
Oh, I'd love a shop.
Just like those crap art galleries in Cornwall where they open twice a week. We'll have one of them.
Yeah, just open the doors like, oh, we don't need to make money. I'm sure that's not true, Steve.
I've already worked one day this week, darling. I'm not doing more.
Yeah, it's just far too exhausting. No, I would love a shop just to have that, your own little business, selling things. I don't know what it'll be. But God, that must be a hard thing to do now. We all know it is. I feel like the only way to have a shop now is if you own the building and therefore you don't have to pay out all those costs. It's almost like having a shop is a luxury now, isn't it?
It is.
Anyway, where the hell are we, Steve? No, me neither. So before the sun disappears completely, this was one of the houses up here, and I think it's up for about, what, 100,000 or something like that. It needs a lot of work, you can tell already with the windows, but it's pretty big. There's a lot of space. I think there's a big garden, you know, for that money. There's another house around the corner for similar, but yeah, as I said, probably a lot of work involved. Still, a nice building, eh? Nice size. Back to our little home. Here we are. We can't stay here for the night in Guisborough, I don't think, so we are going to be off to another little town now, just down the road. It's more like a village, I think, and then we're going to settle down for the night and explore that tomorrow. Oh, it's really dark now, so it's getting harder to film. We are back in the van. We didn't get to film one last thing, which was actually Guisborough Abbey. Is it Guisborough Abbey? It might be called something else. But there's remains of an abbey, I think, there, and they do look quite pretty, and it's free to go in. But by the time we got around to that, it was, well, it's just getting dark, and I think they do close it up at 4 o'clock. So that's out of the question. We're absolutely starving. We've got a nice, what is that? Some lemon bun or something?
Lemon curd bun.
Lemon curd bun, so we're going to share that, or Stephen's just going to have it, I don't know. I might have a bit. He did offer, then I said no, but now I'm looking at it and thinking, can I have a bite? I'll have a bite. Cheers, thanks. Oh my god, that's quite good actually. Where are they from?
M&S, those in there. Too good to go, I think.
Oh, M&S buns.
It's actually a scone. It's got lemon curd in the middle.
That's not a scone.
It is.
Give over.
It is.
That does not taste anything like a scone. It tastes good though. So Guisborough, I do like it, but probably not going to be somewhere we would pick to settle, I reckon. The train station rules it out a little bit. But also, Stephen made a really good point. It's all right. Is all right good enough? Well, you know what? If we were to give up this life in a van, which gives us freedom and stuff like that, and to go back to a life in a house where we might not have the freedom, we'd have the luxuries of a house but not the freedom, is all right enough. And no, it probably isn't. I think now it's like we want to go somewhere and absolutely love it, and that's when we think that's worth the sacrifice of giving this up to go back to the other world.
Exactly. So we'll carry on as we are.
Yeah.
And if something comes along and we really like it and we want to do it, then we'll do it. But we're not just going to do it just because we're still quite happy in the van, really.
We are really. I think we will just carry on unless something really, really like sings to us and we say, yes, that's the one. And also, I'm really sorry, this isn't going to be just us wandering around towns like, come along, dear, property critiquing and all that kind of stuff. Talking crap about towns, you know. There'll be a lot of it.
I'm sure people like that kind of thing. Yeah,
no, I'm sure. But like, we don't want to do this all the time. So I think next week we might get a walk in there somewhere and do something a little bit different, because I'm craving that, especially because we're by the North York malls. Anyway, it's getting dark. We're going to move on and settle down. We are really hungry. That's pretty much all we've had since breakfast. Yeah. So let's get down and we can get some dinner on later.
Yeah, come on, let's go.
Let's go. Well, thank you very much, Guisborough. Lovely to see you. You did have a lot of nice things about you. Quite a cute little town, and you know what, like, whatever we're doing, the fact we're in this van and we get to explore these towns we never see, that's a luxury in itself, isn't it? Like, never underestimate how grateful we are to do this.
And I like it up here as well.
I do, yeah. It is. We both love this area. Morning. So it's the next day now, quite apparently, and we've arrived in our next little town, which was just down the road. And it's called Saltburn-by-the-Sea, is that right, Steve?
Yeah, Saltburn-by-the-Sea.
Which, as far as we know, is nothing to do with the film Saltburn. It's a nice day, the temperature's picked up, hasn't it? Which is really good. That was the first non-cold night for ages. Yeah. That was really, really good.
And we're in an air of salts. It's a car park, but it's got toilet waste and toilets and water.
Yeah. So we stayed here over a year ago. We actually fell out massively here. That didn't go on camera, obviously. We didn't fall out this time. So it's like an air, as Stephen said, but you do pay, I think it's like £6 for 24 hours, isn't it?
£7.
£7, but you have got a place to get rid of your toilet waste, rubbish. You can fill up water. There's actual toilets, and of course you can park and explore. So, you know, that's not bad, is it?
And it is for 24 hours, so we've got the rest of the day to stay here.
Yeah, and it's a nice day, so we're going to go out and see what this place is like. Talking about places to move to potentially, one thing that's, you know, it might not seem that important, but one thing we'd probably think of is, can we run there? Because if we were living somewhere, we'd want to go for runs. And actually, this place seems a little bit awkward. I've just been for one, and in both directions, the seafront doesn't go too far. I think if you want hilly running, then this would be ideal, but we wouldn't always want that, would we?
I don't ever want that.
No, you never want that. I don't think I ever really want it. So this isn't ideal for it, but we don't know the area yet, so we're going to get out and have a look.
Yeah.
Let's get some breakfast, shall we?
Come on then.
All right. Now, we don't know masses about Saltburn-by-the-Sea, but we do know it has a history with mining of ironstone, and that happened a lot in this region along this coastline. And at one point, like the waters in the river and even out to sea in the North Sea, they would turn red or slightly orange where the colour from the iron got into everything. And I think eventually quite a lot of rivers became quite polluted by certain things from mining activity. That's all ceased now, I think, has it? I'm assuming it has, because the water certainly looks clean and you don't see any of that. The other thing we know about it is it's on a hill, so to get to the actual town from where we are, we have to walk up from the seafront here, up to the top there. There is an old-fashioned lift that goes up, but I don't know if that's working at the moment, so we might have to walk it, Steve. Walk up a hill, your favourite thing.
Steps, actually.
Oh, is it steps? Okay. Well, that's absolutely fine then.
Aye.
And the other thing we sort of know about Saltburn is the fact that in the 1800s they really kind of tried to develop this place with all the kind of classic seaside tropes, if you like. So there's a pier, very small pier, but it looks quite cute, doesn't it? So we've just walked past it. We're going to have a look at that in a minute. You've got these beach huts here. I don't think they're anything to do with it. They built a hotel, and all of this sort of started when they opened the train station here. So Saltburn's got a train station, which really shocked us actually, because in Guisborough, obviously, there was no train station. And that's a bigger town and a bit more inland, and yet this place, which feels a bit more isolated, it does have a train station. I think the hotel had its own train platform as well, which is pretty amazing.
I think it's quite popular now, really, though.
Yeah, actually, walking around now, there's a lot of people here. I think this place is probably a little bit out of our price range if we were thinking of coming here, but we're going to have a look anyway. Yeah. Well, we couldn't resist it, could we, Steve? We stopped for chips, only this time we got some added extras. Stephen got a battered sausage. We don't usually eat pork, but he kind of caved in this time. He had to have it. So he got battered sausage with curry sauce, and that was like $5.80, wasn't it, with the chips? And I've got, I think it's like a fish cake, pretty big actually, with the chips, also with curry sauce. So let's tuck in, shall we? And there's the little spot we stayed in. Little river there that's flowing down from where we just walked. The town's up that way on the hill. Obviously the seafront is just the other side, and it's all allowed with some services for about £6 or £7. So we are really grateful to the town for that. Right, thank you very much, Saltburn.
Yeah, nice.
Might see you again.
I might come down for a visit, maybe.
Aye.
Good little bolt hole in this area. In a vine. Especially just to empty your stuff.
Yeah, just to have a place, even if you don't stay, just a place. It's over here actually. The chemical emptying point is just there. Any toilet waste can go in that, so that's pretty good. They are very rare in the UK.
Where are we going then?
I don't know. I need to give instructions now, so I'm going to stop the camera. Well, good evening. So we have settled down again. We've moved just along from where we were. We're not far down the road, really. We found a cosy little spot to settle down in for the night.
Aye.
All very cosy and quiet here. And it's free, which is great. We've had a lovely couple of days, haven't we?
Aye.
And I think we're going to kind of end the video there. But before we do, there is something we just wanted to say, actually. And before these last couple of days, before we came exploring up here, we actually met one of our subscribers. Now, this lady actually has her own YouTube channel and she's got a hell of a lot more subscribers than we have, actually. We popped in to say hello. Her name is Mean Queen Super Scrimper. Now, if you're telling me that isn't the best YouTube name going, then I'm calling you a liar, because that is just amazing, isn't it? And the clue's possibly in the title. She's all about sort of saving money and different things, but she'll talk to you about all different things on her channel. So check her out, Mean Queen Super Scrimper. Her name's Iluna. I'm so sorry, Iluna, if I'm not saying the name correct.
I think that might be right.
It might be. I don't know. But you know what? Mean Queen Super Scrimper is a lot better anyway. It's brilliant. So we actually met Iluna and we popped in to say hello, and she very kindly invited us in. We had a cup of coffee. We had a good chinwag, didn't we?
Yeah, went for a walk.
We went for a walk around our lovely area. It was really, really nice. So thank you for inviting us over. It was absolutely lovely to meet you, Iluna. We had a brilliant time. And also, Iluna gave us a few little bits and pieces, didn't she? So we are so grateful for that, because we've got some little bits that we're going to snack on now in our van. So we better show them.
Well, first of all, she gave us some black bomber cheese.
So it's cheddar cheese, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's like a truckle.
A truckle. Don't you love that word, a truckle?
I do love the word truckle.
Yeah, it's a black bomber truckle cheese. So it's extra mature cheddar.
Is it black cheese, or is it like the black wax on it?
I think it's the black wing.
We'll soon
it's called
find
black
out.
Bomber, so we'll find out. When
Okay.
And to go with that, she gave us some nice caramelised onion chutney.
So we're going to enjoy that with some crackers in a minute, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. She also gave us something else, but it's in the fridge.
It is in the fridge. So thank you, Iluna. We are so grateful. I feel bad because we didn't
much.
bring anything round. We're awful. We're terrible people, really, aren't we?
We're men.
We are men. Yeah, that's a good excuse, Steve. We'll use that more often. Yeah, Mean Queen Super Scrimper. I will put the link down there so you can check her out, or I'll put the link in the description if I can't manage to put it on the screen. Yeah, we're going to enjoy that now, I think.
Yep.
Let's have a taste, shall we?
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's have it.
Please excuse the state of our plates, as they're plastic, and my God, I scrubbed them to death not so long ago. The light is actually making it worse, to be fair. It's not actually as bad as that, but because it's plastic and the knife's gone into it so many times, it's permanently stained. I think we need to change them, Steve. It looks pretty gross.
They're fine.
Yeah, I suppose so.
All right, let's...
I can't wait for the cheese and biscuits. I've got to try the cheese now. Oh my God, that is really good. Oh my God, it tastes like cheese on toast. I don't know how else to describe it. Really mature cheddar. Oh, thank you, Iluna. Are you sure you meant to give us this? This is really good. Right, well, let's get some cream crackers out, shall we? And we'll have a little bit of...
I know it's not the right way to do it. I don't know what the right way is, but I'm going to just do another slice like this.
Yeah, I don't know if there is a right way. I imagine you...
Because then I can put the lid back on the cheese.
That's a good idea.
And then it'll keep it fresh.
That's a bloody good idea, Steve.
And then we can just take the ring out.
Aye.
And then we've got a nice bit of cheese.
Get your chutney on, Steve.
The chutney's going on the bottom because we ain't got butter. We don't eat it.
Chutney on the bottom. My God, is this a bit like the old scone debate? Like whether the clotted cream goes on before the jam? Do you put the cheese on before the chutney? You know, is there an order? See, I would have done it. I think I would have put the cheese on first, but I think you've done it right.
Do you want to try it first?
I don't mind. You try it. It's in your hand.
Nice. Can't be a bit of cheese, can you?
No, you can't. There's something really comforting about cheese and crackers as well.
Cheers, Ilona.
Lovely stuff. Thank you, Mean Queen.
Much appreciated.
Yes, very much appreciated. Getting into the usual awkward positions on our bed to do this. I'm doing this back to front. I'm doing this with my right hand, and it's really awkward because I'm left-handed.
Look at the size of that chunk of cheese he's got on there.
Oh, you got to do it. Right, let's give it a go. Watch as it goes everywhere as I bite into it. Oh my God.
Nice, isn't
The
it?
taste buds are tingling. Right, everyone round to Mean Queens for more cheese.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Iluna. Really appreciate that. Very tasty. And there's Steve's thumb in front somewhere.
Right.
Well, we'll make ourselves a few of those and settle down and put a film on or something, I reckon, do you?
Aye.
We've got a signal here, which is a bit of a miracle because we are in the middle of nowhere.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what we're going to do.
Aye.
Do you like my new green top, by the way? I bought this from a charity shop not so long ago.
I think it very much suits you.
I hope. Do you think? Oh,
Yeah.
that's very nice of you, Steve.
Well,
That must have hurt.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, I bet.
Don't get used to it.
I won't. I'll wait till the next compliment next year.
Aye.
You've used up your quota now.
Yep.
But yeah, from a charity shop, just like a super dry sweater, but it was about, I don't know, £4 or something? £4, I think it was. Not bad.
With that, we're going to end the video.
Are we? What, with it pointing at me right now?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. This is an odd way to do it.
Yeah.
All right.
So please push your like button. It's very important to push your like button.
Buy Black Bomber cheese as well.
Yeah. Subscribe if you like the channel, and push your notification bell if you want to be notified when we next put out a video.
Thank you for watching. I'm just going to eat cheese right till the end now. I think I was eating at the end of the last one.
Probably.
We're eating those rolls. So thank you for watching. We are still going to be exploring East Yorkshire, I think we're going into next, possibly. I don't know, because I'm not sure where North stops and East starts. But we're going to be exploring more of this area and just showing you around in general.
Yep.
That's it.
That's it.
That's it.
See you next
See you on
week.
the next time.
Bye.
See you on the next time. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.